Hi everyone, it's Christine here from christinestampinspot.blogspot.com, and today I have a super quick video for you showing you how to use Stampin' Up's new Touches of Texture stamp set. This is an awesome stamp set, and one of the many things I love about Stampin' Up is that you can come into the Stampin' Up family having one particular style. For example, my style is very cutesy, little animals, critters, things of that nature. But Stampin' Up stamp sets make it so easy to kind of go out of your comfort zone and create grungy cards or vintage cards or whatever you want to do. So I'm going to show you how I made this card today. As you can tell, this is a very kind of vintage look, and it's using the Touches of Texture stamp set. So what you're going to need to create this card is, of course, the Touches of Texture stamp set, and this is both CD cases are the same stamp set. There's just so many stamps in this awesome set that it takes two CD holders to hold them all, which is awesome. Then you're going to need rich razzleberry. Let me adjust my camera just a little bit. There we go. A rich razzleberry ink pad, sweet sugar plum, which is one of our new in colors, basic gray, daffodil delight, and basic black. You're also going to need, from the Brights marker collection pack, the old olive Stampin' Right marker and the Wink of Stella clear glitter pen. Okay, so let's move all of this aside and go ahead and get started. And now that I have my camera a little bit better, let me show you the card again one more time. Okay, so this is the card that we're going to be making. Can you see the shimmer on the bee and the flower there? I hope that camera is picking that up. Let me see. There it is a little bit. That is the Wink of Stella glitter pen, and it is awesome. So I definitely recommend picking that up in your next order if you don't already have it. It's truly wonderful. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do to make this card is we're going to pull over a piece of very vanilla cardstock, and this is cut at, let me bring over my little ruler here. This is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4 is what I cut this at. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to stamp the outline stamp. So what we're going to be using, I'll bring over the stamp set itself, and we're going to start with this. Now, usually in two-step stamping, the stamps are going to be photopolymer, which means they're the clear see-through stamps. But because of the way this stamp set is set up, you don't need that because it's not supposed to be perfect. So in other words, when you layer the colors on top here, it's not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to have that kind of grungy, vintagey look to it. So that's why they're not photopolymer. They are, I have the clear mount, which are the red rubber that you mount on your clear blocks. You could also get this in wood mount if you prefer the wood mounted stamps. So again, we're going to start with this outline stamp, and I already have that on my block, and I'm using the D block for this particular image, and I'm going to stamp this in my darkest purple color, which is the rich razzleberry. If you're new to Stampin' Up, this is how the ink pads open. You have 3 dots here at the bottom. Push and then pull open and slide back. And what's great about this design is you always want to store your ink pads normal ink pads upside down, so the ink stays fresh at the top of the pad. But the way Stampin' Up's are is when you close it, it's already upside down. So you don't have to store it any special way. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up this outline image. And you just want to tap. You don't need to press super dark. And then we're just going to stamp it towards the top of this piece of very vanilla cardstock. So let me just stamp it down here and pull up. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, so we can close the rich razzleberry for now. And the next image that we're going to use, we are going to stamp in Sweet Sugar Plum. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Sweet Sugar Plum ink pad, and we are going to be using this image right here from the stamp set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the stamp off technique. So what that means is basically I'm just going to ink it up in my Sweet Sugar Plum. I'm going to stamp off on my scratch paper one time. So then when I stamp it on top of here, it's just going to be a little bit lighter. Some people call that second generation stamping. Basically all it means is that you don't want it to be as dark as what it would be if you first stamped it down. So see how it's very light and it's inside, and it comes, I stamped it so a little bit of it is outside the flower. That's exactly how this stamp set is designed. Again, this is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to have that kind of grungy look. Actually, I don't know why I'm closing the sweet sugar plum, because the final step for the top of the flower is to use this image right here in this stamp set, and we're just going to put that in the middle, and that's going to be sweet sugar plum full strength. So in other words, sweet sugar plum without stamping off, and we're just going to put that right in the middle like that. Okay, so that is the top of our flower. And now we're going to create the stem. And to create the stem, we're going to use our Archival Basic Gray. I just really love the gray and the rich raspberry and the sweet sugar plum together. I just think that's a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous color combination. So here is our stem. I'm just looking to make sure I got it good and inked up here. Okay, and we're just going to stamp this down, and it's going to go a little bit off the paper, and that's fine. So just stamp your stem down like so. Okay, there you go. So there's your flower. Now we're going to grab our old olive marker, and I'm just going to very lightly color in with the brush side of the marker. Just color in the leaves so that they're green. And I'm not using watercolor techniques or anything like that on this. I'm just using the marker itself to color in the leaves. So we still have the gray color scheme with the gray stem and everything, but we're just going to add a little pop of green to the leaves. Okay, there we go. So that is done. Now we are going to create our little bee. And let me just clean off one of these blocks. Okay, so for my bee, and that's just this image right here at the top here, the little bee, I'm going to take out my basic black archival ink pad so that the base of the bee is black. Make sure I get him good and inked up. And for the archival ink pads, the gray and the black, they are not the foam topped ink pads like all of the other colors. So sometimes you have to press a little bit harder to get those colors nice and inked up. So I'm just going to stamp this down right next to my flower here. Make sure I press a little hard to get it nice and pretty. There we go. Okay, so there's our little bee. And now to get we want a little bit of yellow inside the bee for his little body. So I'm going to bring over my Daffodil Delight, open that up, and I'm just going to use this little bit of, I don't know what you call that, little splotch to fill the center of the bee. So I'm just going to ink this up right here and just stamp this right down in the middle of the bee. So you can see there's just a hint of yellow now on the bee, and that's exactly what you want. Again, this is not supposed to be necessarily super realistic. It's just supposed to be fun, grungy, vintagey look. So now I'm going to pull back over my basic gray, and now we're going to create the sort of grungy look around the flower. And for that, again, I need to steal one of these blocks I'd already used here. So let me just stick this on. So we're going to be using this image right here, which is, let me bring over the stamp set again. It's this. And so we're going to use the stamp off technique again for this. So we ink this up in basic gray ink. And again, remember, these are not the foam, so sometimes you have to push a little bit harder to get it nice and inked up. And so we're going to stamp off and then stamp around. And I'm just kind of doing sort of just around, all the way around the flower. So the corners and along the edges, that's the word, all around the edges of the flower. That's what I'm trying to say here. And I'm really utilizing my scratch paper here, using all of this stamp off technique, but it really creates a fun look to your projects. It really, really does. Let me drop in stamp sets over here. Let me just pick that up. All right. Keep going. Okay, last one right there. Okay, so that is really, isn't that pretty? It's just a very grungy kind of look, and I just love it. And to finish up this flower base now, we are going to use, this is our very last step in creating this stamping panel. And we're going to bring back over our Sweet Sugar Plum ink pad. Can you tell I love the new ink colors? I'm addicted to them. I really can't stop using them. And I think I've said this on one of my previous videos before, but I generally don't spend the money on the ink colors because, you know, I'm new to this business and I'm trying to run this as a business. And so I try to spend my money wisely. But, oh my gosh, this annual catalog, I simply cannot stay away from them. I am so glad that I went ahead and got them all. So for our very last step then, we're going to be using this image, and it's easier to see on the stamp pad. So let me bring that, on the stamp set, so let me bring that back over. And it's this stamp set right here. It's just a bunch of letters, all kind of mixed up in a real grungy feel to it. So we're going to take our Sweet Sugar Plum, and this time we're not going to stamp off. And we're just going to stamp. And there is, really, I know that sounds kind of basic, but that's really what we're doing. We are just stamping. Not everywhere, just kind of wherever you want. The great thing about this is there is no right or wrong way to do it. And every time you do it, you're going to see that it's different. So this is my original. It's never going to look the same. And here's the one I made on camera for you guys. So see how it just looks a little bit different? I love that. Love that. Okay. So I'm going to close out my Sweet Sugar Plum. And I'm going to go ahead now and adhere this to this gray panel, which I cut just 1/8 of an inch on each side, around bigger than this panel. And the reason I want to get this adhered down is because then I'm going to put the Wink of Stella over it, and I don't want to mess that up. So we're just going to go ahead and quickly adhere this down. Okay. And just center it real nice over your basic gray. This is basic gray cardstock that I'm putting this on top of. That looks good. There we go. Okay, so isn't that pretty? So now you're going to take your Wink of Stella, and again, this is the clear. Stampin' Up! Right now carries the clear and the gold. And I'm just going to do the little bee's wings and his body. And then I'm going to do the flower. And just a light hand is all you need with this. And I don't know that this is necessarily going to show up on camera. I apologize for the lighting tonight, too. It's a very rainy evening here in West Virginia. So it's not helping my lighting situation at all. But hopefully you get the point. And let me pick this up and see if I can show it in the camera. There you go. You can kind of see it. It just adds a gorgeous sparkly effect to your projects. And when you get it in clear, you can put it over top of any color, and it's awesome. Okay, so let's quickly finish this card before this video turns into a super long video. So here we have a piece of rich raspberry cardstock, and this is just cut at, 5 1/4 by 4. And then this is a piece of designer series paper from the In Colors paper pack. I cannot recommend these big packs of paper enough. They come in all of the color families: brights, neutrals, subtles, regals, and the In Colors. So I cut this at, let me pull over my trusty ruler again. I cut this at 2 1/2 by 5 1/4. And so I'm just going to take my adhesive as I'm dropping more things here. I promise I'm not usually this klutzy. So I'm just going to take my adhesive and stick this down, and I'm going to put it flush all the way to the left-hand side here. And this paper just has lots of lovely words on it. There's lots of different designs, as you could see from the back. There's the dots, there's stripes, all different kinds of designs in the designer series paper stacks. And again, this is from the In Color. This is the Sweet Sugar Plum. So I'm just, again, putting this all the way flush to the side. That looks good. And press it down. And then here is my basic gray card base. I've already put my Whisper White inside. So there's a place to write. And so I'm just going to adhere this down. And my card is just a standard A2 card size. I cut it at 4 1/4. Scored it at 5 1/2. And just center this down on your basic gray. That looks good. Okay, fold it back up. And now we're just going to be putting this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over my dimensionals. I cannot recommend Stampin' Up's dimensionals enough. You really get the best bang for your buck with these. They are very inexpensive. I always add them on to any order that I'm making because they're just so inexpensive. So I really don't scrimp on them. I use as many as I want because, again, they're just so inexpensive. So you just stick them down here, and you got to peel the backs off. And it just gives your project a little bit of a pop, which I really, really love. So if I can just get these off, we will be good to go. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to stick this down right here, like so. Okay, and then the very last step is I'm just going to take some of Stampin' Up's basic pearls, which I love, and I'm just going to use the biggest size, and I'm just going to take 3 of them and place them in the upper right corner. Again, just to kind of draw your eye. There's really no right or wrong way to do any of this. You can put the pearls anywhere. You don't have to put the pearls at all. You just use what you have in your stash and make the card the way that you want to make it. I really just like to show you guys how to use the stamp sets and how I design. But again, that's what's so great about paper crafting, is there's no right or wrong way to do it. And I'm just fiddling with this pearl right now because the backing sometimes will stick to your paper, so you just got to kind of stick it back on and fiddle with it, but it'll work fine. Let me just get that. There we go. Okay, so there's your card. The last part, as you'll see on my original, is to add the sentiment. I didn't want to stamp that on camera. This is already a pretty long video. So the sentiment is from the Picture Perfect stamp set, which is right here, and it's just a note. And I stamped it in Rich Razzleberry ink on basic gray cardstock. And so I already did that for you. So again, you guys didn't have to watch me do that to make this video even longer. And I'm just going to take a couple dimensionals. I'm actually just going to take 1 dimensional, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut it in half and then place it on the back because it's a relatively thin piece of paper. So we're just going to stick that on the back here so it has just a little bit of a pop to it. You know I love my dimensionals, and I'm just going to stick it right about there. There we go. So it says just a note, and that's it. What do you think? Do you love this stamp set as much as I do? Again, this is not my normal style of stamping, and that's what I love about Stampin' Up! Is it takes you out of your comfort zone and you make beautiful, beautiful, beautiful projects. Oh, one last thing I wanted to tell you. The way I created this little banner right here is I used the triple banner punch. Now, when you're using this punch, technically it has 3 sizes for you: 1 inch, 1.5 inches, and 2 inches. Obviously, this is very tiny. This is only a 1/2 inch wide. But if you have a firm hand, you just turn the punch over and you can stick anything down there and punch it. So you are not limited to the 3 sizes on the punch, which is what I love about this punch. I cannot recommend this punch enough. You can make any size banner that you want. Okay, so I'm so sorry this video is so long, but I really wanted to show you how much I love this new stamp set. It's in the annual catalog, so go ahead and check it out. It's called Touches of Texture, and I hope you enjoyed my card. Thank you so much for stopping by. And one last thing, you guys, one of the many perks of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is we get a sneak peek of the holiday catalog, and we get to pre-order starting on Tuesday of next week, which will be August 2nd. I have never seen a Stampin' Up! Catalog that I have loved this much, so I cannot wait to share it with you. If you would like to request a holiday catalog, I will put a link in the description box of this video to my blog. Click on the tab at the top that says Request a Catalog, and that will give you the directions on how to do that. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that you love this stamp set as much as I do. Have a great day. Bye!